Well, since I can't make a short video, I guess let's go back to what the indicators are for some of the problems that we're looking for. When we're looking for broken lines, what we're going to look for is quick flooding or puddling in the yard, gushing water coming out of the ground, or heads not popping up at all, or spraying very weak streams when water clearly was heard turning on and running. Sometimes that's also a broken head. But that's the next thing we're going to look for. So broken heads, typically you're going to see either geyser shooting out of the heads, water shooting out of the body of the irrigation head instead of the nozzle. Sometimes you'll see pierced holes in the body of the irrigation head actually. And you'll see flooding out of the head, or no pop-up, or no guts inside of the body of the irrigation head, because sometimes they just blow out. You'll also see broken nozzles or missing nozzles, and that typically looks like geysers shooting out of the heads on a spray head, or it'll be like a stream of water coming out of a rotor head instead of like a fanned out misting spray. The water coverage will typically be limited to the end of the stream. A lot of times it can leave marks in the lawn because the heaviness of that stream of water falling will actually leave like an imprint and rut up the yard. So, but anyways, back to the design flaws, which is where we finished off on part one. We talked about the spray heads on rotor zones, on the drip lines on spray and rotor zones, and how they should be on their own zone. Heads not being spaced head to head. Head-to-head coverage is pretty much industry standard. That's what you always want, and you're typically going to have square or triangle spacing. So that's going to be what we're looking for as far as our spacing, is either a bunch of little squares or a bunch of little triangles, which there are different run times based on those spacings. Heads are going to be buried against the foundation of the house. Well, they shouldn't be. So we're looking for that. It can lead to problems in the crawl space or the basement over an extended period of time. It's not as big of a deal if it's next to a solid slab or like a concrete garage. It's not always something that can be fixed, but typically the spray heads along the sides of the house can be moved into the lawn and spray back towards the house. Or a lot of times you put in a landscape bed, and then you can spray your shrubs or drip line your shrubs and put your rotor heads on the edge of that landscape bed to spray your grass. And then you got heads buried against the edge of the concrete of the driveway or the curb. Any head that's buried against the concrete or curb is in danger or damage from the lawn care crew. Their edging blades will bust that head, so you want to always keep your heads an inch or two away from that driveway or curb. Then we go through and we set our zone times according to the head types. We ensure that we're at 100% seasonal adjustment before we make any adjustments to the run times or zone times. And then we'll reduce the run times for any areas with lack of airflow or sunlight. We'll reduce the run times for any areas that have known fungus issues or are currently bare of grass from tree cover or tall privacy fences. And then we'll show the customer how to adjust seasonal adjustment percentage and instruct them to run 40 to 60% in the spring and in the fall, and then 100 to 120% in the summer. Unless they got a rain sensor, then they shouldn't touch it. And then we'll fix and replace any spray or rotor nozzles and straighten any severely leaning heads.